Friends, that was amazing. I think they get another round of applause for that. That was so good. All right. All right, friends. So I need you to do some thinking and remembering for me. What did we commemorate 2 Sundays ago? 2 weeks ago, what were we doing? Easter. It was Easter. And what is it that we remember on Easter? Yes. Yes, the day that Jesus rose, and you got that answer too. Jesus rose on Easter Sunday. What did he raise from? Yes. Go on. You get turn this time. Go on. He rose from the dead. It's a pretty strange thing to happen, right? People don't usually raise from the dead, do they? He's the only person in the world, right? To raise from the dead is a pretty interesting thing to happen, right? And so what we hear about in the weeks after that Jesus rose from the dead is what that means that he rose from the dead, right? That's like, what does that mean when you say he rose from the dead? So we have this story today where all the disciples who were following Jesus have gone back home and they decided to go fishing, and they're fishing at night. Yeah. Have you been fishing in the dark? No, right? Yeah. It would be cold, it would be dark, and they're catching no fish at all. And then Jesus appears on the bank. A ghost. You think Jesus is a ghost? Right. Well, keep that in mind, right? So Jesus appears on the bank of the lake and he says, cast your nets on the other side of the boat. And then they catch. It's way too heavy and they can't pull it in. They catch 153 fish. 153 fish, all in one go, and they can barely bring the nets onto the boat. Then, do you know what Jesus does? He invites them to breakfast. This is happening in the morning. So Jesus makes this fire, and he gets the fish, and they're grilling the fish over the fire, and they're having fish for breakfast. Who likes fish for breakfast? Noah, you like fish for breakfast? Yeah. Not many of us eat fish for breakfast, do we? Would you like some fish now? What if I offered you some fish now? Would you eat it? What if I offered you these fish? Or these fish? The crackers, not so much. Parents, I apologize for the chaos of introducing sugar to the middle of church. But we can all take one fish. One fish. And you have to wait to eat it. You have to wait. Everyone got one fish. All right. And you got one? All right. And I want you to take one bite of your fish. Okay? Yummy? All right. Now I want you all to stand up and look at the floor. Is there anything on the floor? Is there any fish on the floor? So what does that mean? If Jesus was a ghost, what would have happened?
Wouldn't have been. It would.
If Jesus was a ghost, the fish would have just fallen on the floor underneath him, right? You can sit down again. So what that means is, when Jesus comes back and he starts having breakfast with his friends, he wasn't a ghost. Jesus came back. When we say that he rose from the dead, he still had his body. Last week we heard how one of his friends wanted to touch him to prove that he was still alive and had come back in his body. You can eat the rest of it now, yeah. So why are bodies important? Why is it important that Jesus came back in a body? Yes.
Actually came back from the dead. He would
Exactly.
before things not existed.
Exactly. It was important that Jesus came back in a body, that he was not a ghost. This was not something they were imagining. He wasn't a spirit. He was a real person. And the word we use, the fancy word for coming back from the dead, is resurrection. Resurrection. Everyone say it with me. Resurrection. That's what we're remembering, okay?
Come on.
And it's important that Jesus came back in a body because we have bodies, right? We have bodies. And so what Jesus' resurrection, what Jesus is coming back means is that that will happen to us. And that our bodies are important. And everybody's body is important, right? So I want you to remember what I'm saying with 3 sentences, okay? I have a body. Jesus has a body. We should look after everybody. And that's what it means. It means that we take care of our bodies and we take care of every other person's body, no matter how old or young they are, no matter how big or small they are, no matter what color that body is, no matter what size that body is, no matter what that body can or can't do, we look after all of them. Yes. If they're bad guys, we still have to love people. That's what Jesus told us. We have to love people even if they're bad guys. It's important.
Robbers in the
What's that?
robbers.
If they're robbers in the jail, we'll still pray for them. Yeah, it does. Like that's what Jesus says. He came for everybody. So what?
The little.
Yeah.
Got it.
St. John Paul II visited the guy who shot him. Good Catholic upbringing there. All right. So what do we remember? I have a body. Jesus has a body. We should take care of everybody. Thank you, friends. And you can all... Does anyone want a cracker to go? All right. Thank you, everybody.